What if the woman you loved most was your greatest enemy in disguise? What if every kiss, every promise, every tender moment was part of an elaborate game you never knew you were playing? I thought I knew Zara Williams. Beautiful, brilliant, with eyes that could stop traffic and a smile that made me believe in forever. She was everything I dreamed of in a partner. Successful marketing executive, sophisticated, charming everyone she met. When she said yes to my proposal, I felt like the luckiest man alive. But standing at that altar, watching her walk down the aisle in her stunning white gown, I had no idea I was about to witness the final act of the most elaborate deception I'd ever encountered. Zara didn't just leave me at the altar. She orchestrated a masterpiece of manipulation that would make the greatest femme fatales of history proud. As the music played and guests turned to watch her approach, she stopped halfway down the aisle. Her eyes found mine, and for a moment I saw something I'd never noticed before. Cold calculation where warmth used to be. "I'm sorry, Marcus," she announced, her voice carrying across the silent church, "but I can't marry you. I'm in love with someone else." The gasps from our families and friends created a symphony of shock. But Zara wasn't finished. She turned to face our guests, composed and confident, like an actress delivering her greatest performance. "I'm in love with David Chen," she continued, her voice steady as steel. "Marcus's business partner." That's when David stood up from the third row, straightening his tie with the same casual confidence he'd shown in our boardroom meetings. The same meetings where he'd sat across from me, shaking my hand, discussing our expanding tech startup while secretly planning to steal everything I held dear. But here's where the story gets truly diabolical. As the weeks following that devastating day unfolded, I discovered the terrifying truth about the woman I'd almost married. Zara hadn't just fallen for another man. She'd been playing a long game that would have impressed Mata Hari herself. Through a private investigator I hired to understand what had happened, I learned that Zara and David had been together for over 2 years. 2 years. That meant their affair began just months after she and I started dating. But it wasn't just an affair. It was corporate espionage wrapped in romance. Zara had targeted me specifically because of my company. She'd researched my business, learned about my innovations in artificial intelligence software, and positioned herself to get close to me at that industry conference where we accidentally met. Every conversation we'd had about my work, every time she'd encouraged me to share my dreams and business strategies, she'd been gathering intelligence. The wedding day revelation was just the beginning. Within weeks, David launched his own tech company, using proprietary algorithms that bore suspicious similarities to the ones I'd been developing. Algorithms I'd shared with Zara during late-night conversations about my vision for the future. But Zara's manipulation went deeper than industrial theft. She'd systematically isolated me from potential investors, subtly discouraging partnerships that could have strengthened my position. She'd recommended lawyers who were secretly working in David's interests. She'd even influenced my hiring decisions, steering me away from talented developers who might have helped me compete. The most chilling discovery came when I found emails between Zara and David, planning not just the theft of my intellectual property, but the complete destruction of my business reputation. They'd crafted a narrative that would paint me as an unstable partner, someone who couldn't be trusted with major investments or collaborations. Zara Williams was a modern femme fatale who understood that in today's world, information is the ultimate weapon. She wielded charm like a blade, using intimacy as her vehicle for espionage. Every kiss had been reconnaissance. Every "I love you" had been a lie designed to lower my defenses. The wedding day scene wasn't spontaneous heartbreak. It was calculated psychological warfare. By humiliating me publicly, she damaged my credibility and emotional stability simultaneously. She knew the story would spread through our professional network, making me appear as someone who couldn't even maintain a stable personal relationship. What makes Zara truly dangerous is how perfectly she understood human psychology. She knew that a man in love would share his deepest secrets, his greatest vulnerabilities, his most ambitious plans. She exploited the very trust that makes relationships possible, turning love itself into a weapon. David wasn't just her lover. He was her accomplice in a sophisticated con game that lasted 3 years. Together, they'd planned to strip me of everything I'd built, leaving me emotionally and financially devastated while they built their empire on the foundation of my stolen work. The aftermath revealed the true scope of their deception. They'd been photographed together at business conferences in other cities, always when I was traveling separately. They'd shared hotel rooms while maintaining the fiction of their professional relationship. Zara had even introduced David to her family as her friend from work months before our engagement. But perhaps the most sinister aspect of Zara's plan was how she'd prepared for every contingency. She'd documented every conversation about my business, recording phone calls and saving text messages. If I'd tried to accuse them of theft, she had evidence that I'd willingly shared information with my fiancé and trusted business partner. Zara proved that the femme fatale isn't just a figure from noir films or historical espionage. She's alive and thriving in boardrooms and dating apps, using the same weapons that have always made such women dangerous: intelligence, beauty, and the ability to make men believe they're loved when they're actually being hunted. Today, 3 years later, David's company has gone public. Zara serves as his chief marketing officer, and together they've built a multi-million-dollar empire on the foundation of my stolen innovations. They married in a private ceremony in the Bahamas, and social media shows them living the life I dreamed of sharing with her. The scars from that betrayal run deeper than professional loss or financial damage. Zara didn't just steal my business ideas. She stole my ability to trust, to love without suspicion, to believe that the woman sharing my bed and my dreams isn't secretly planning my destruction. She was a predator disguised as a partner, a competitor masquerading as a companion. And in the end, I learned the painful wisdom that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one who whispers, "I love you," while sharpening the knife. I moved on and built another company and thrived because in the end, I chose me and my happiness. For more stories like this or to share a similar experience, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.